Howdy folks, DaveMan here again, Rollman Revolution. The political shit doesn't get any better than this. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you will know that I expose people in real time as they're talking about stuff, but you know, there's only alternative media talking about this stuff now. If you are a person who's still caught on the mainstream CNN, MSNBC non-fucking sense, you are still left in the dark and fed on shit. Listen to this. I took this from Megyn Kelly's post, but it's from MSNBC's interview with Kamala Harris, where the first question she was asked in that interview is everything that you need to hear. Like I said in my last video, if you were on a date with Kamala Harris and you just happen to be sitting at the dinner table, how long would it take you before you realize that this woman is full of shit? Roll it.
Madam Vice President, you just laid out your economic vision for the future. Yeah. But still, there are lots of Americans who don't see themselves in your plans. For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. You know, I have to tell you, I really love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition. Oh my God. We have aspirations. We have dreams.
Yeah.
We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, you know, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions.
Now, think about this. I want you to really think about what you just heard there. Okay, so many Americans right now are not feeling very, very good. Many Americans right now don't know which direction to go, and they are scratching and clawing at things to try to determine, man, who's going to be the right person for this presidency? I don't know really who to pick, but the media is going out of their way. Stephanie Ruhle and the media are going out of their way to try to present Kamala Harris as the only choice because that crazy old meanie Donald Trump, which they framed for you, is out of touch. But when you listen to what it is that woman just said, your economic plan, we're talking about economics here. Well, what about those Americans that don't feel that they're involved in your economic plan, Kamala? Well, you gotta understand. Look, if I have a plan, if I say something, you're in it because I cover everything. Because you know what? I'm an amazing person because I don't really have to say anything. I can do it. You know, just come on, America. I can do it. See, the way I do it is because I come from a background, a middle class background in segregation. And look, I've seen everything because I know you, America. So you need to vote for me, even though my plan is so friggin' vague and maybe you're not involved in it, but we're gonna add addendums. So diabetics, we got you. Poor people, we got you. You're losing your house and your car, we got you. Kamala covers it all because when you don't have any specifics and you can't point to any specifics, you can just gaslight and say, well, guess what? I got you all covered. Yes, I got you covered, and I got you covered, and I got you covered. But then when you ask her, well, how do you do this? How do you specifically do this? You go down the road and you listen to the interview a little bit further, and she says, well, what if you don't get the votes, you know, for taxing all these people? And what if you get the votes for doing all this stuff? Well, we're just going to have to do it. That's all that matters. We're just going to have to do it. Now, look, I'm not a college-educated man. I mean, I don't have a 4-year degree. I went to college, but I don't have multiple 4-year degrees on the wall saying that I'm a learned son of a bitch. I don't have all of these little degrees, awards, and associations that tell everybody that I am piled high and deep in my bullshit. But Kamala Harris definitely has the elbows of all of the people within this stage called the political arena. Yeah, young folks. Specifically young folks out there. Do you even know the backstory of Kamala Harris and how she got to where she is currently? I mean, those are the things that I always find incredibly interesting. See, everybody knows the background of Trump. Trump has been in the public spotlight as far as when I was growing up in the 80s. Everybody knew who Donald Trump was. Everybody knew who he was. And throughout the ages and throughout the decades, he has always been a presence in some way, shape, or form. So we know Donald Trump. Like him or not, you know what you got with that man. But with this person, Kamala Harris, who gets upset if you say her name incorrectly, gets really, really upset if you say, oh, it's not Kamala, it's Kamala. Well, fucking, give me a break. When people get upset about silly shit like that, it always concerns me. But here's my point. Do you know the backstory about Kamala? Do you young folks really know the backstory of how this person, which in my opinion, I believe is the most ignorant, mentally unstable, doesn't really know who she truly is candidate that we've ever had in American history? Well, did you ever ask the question how she got to where she is? Let's put it this way. Go back to California about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and you have this young lawyer, right, that comes out of school who slowly starts showing up at Montel Williams and on the red carpet with all of the celebrities. And then before you know, Willie Brown shows up. And, you know, we don't want to talk about the history of Willie Brown, who was, you know, twice her age, but all of a sudden Kamala started getting herself, you know, associated with all of these big political associations in California. Before you know it, she's on the board of one of the more difficult groups to get on, and you start seeing her political career start taking off. This just goes to show you, young folks, that you don't have to have talent in the world to get on the political stage in this country. And there's a reason why, because the people who really run this country want stupid running it. They want the figurehead standing out in front of you, the stupid person in front of you. They want that person every single time, because why? Because Kamala Harris, once she's elected, they're just going to throw her in a fucking barn like they did with Joe Biden. Tell her how great of a good job she's doing. Just puff up her ego on a regular basis, because that's all she really wants. She wants people to tell her how great she is. She's one of those women that you constantly have to keep giving her compliments. Keep going, oh, you're so great, sweetheart. You're just so great at whatever you do. Oh, thank you, Dave. That's Kamala Harris. And I told you young men out there, if you were ever on a date, how long would it take you before you started to realize that the gal across the table was full of shit? Now, I am not here to beat anybody up. I am here to present reality to people so that you can't be bamboozled by what other people are trying to tell you. I am asking you to go look into the backstory of this woman. Just stop listening to everybody and just go and do your due diligence in the work. When you start looking behind the scenes, you're gonna start to realize that this chick is fucking mental, and she is purely a puppet. She has no control over any of the things that she makes the claim for. Should upset everyone. Should make every single person who is in this country, who is struggling right now, who is dealing with real problems. Yeah, those are the people that Kamala Harris is trying to get to vote for her. But the problem is when you don't present anything, and then those voters ask a return question, will say, yeah, we heard your economic policy, but we don't think we fit into your policy. And can you explain to us how we fit into it? Good old Kamala just gives you this fucking silly, random answer. Well, you know, if you're diabetic, well, yeah, we're going to throw you into the plan. And if you got this problem, we're going to throw you in the plan too. But she never tells you how she's going to do it, how she's going to pay for it, how it's going to be structured, because she doesn't have anything. That woman is not equipped to explain or articulate any policies or principles, because she didn't come up with them. She doesn't know what the hell she is talking about. But yet, the mainstream media is going overboard every single day, every freaking single day. to try to convince you otherwise. How do we get so stupid? How do we get so stupid that this woman generates this amount of airtime? I have never, in my entire life watching this political arena, have seen such a circus to this level before. You got guns, you got a president or a presidential candidate who's getting shot at from multiple different angles, and the media just doesn't give a shit, like it didn't even happen. And yet, you have another candidate who goes around bumbling, stumbling, falling over stuff, can't make a goddamn lucid freaking sentence, and they're propping her up as if she is the only choice that you could potentially want because that Hitler guy, Donald Trump, is the other one, and you can't, How do you fall for this shit? How do people fall for this shit? I mean, really? Just listen. Just listen. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to do any, you don't have to have a background or a degree in any of this bullshit. You don't have to listen to any of these people who are these so-called experts about, and you don't. Just go outside. Go outside, look in the real world, and tell me how you're feeling. Go out and ask, look at this current situation, how much eggs are, how much groceries are, how much all this stuff is, and ask yourself the question, how did we get here? How did we get here? Because we weren't here in 2019. Eggs weren't ridiculous. You could afford. Once COVID hit, then everything kind of went downhill. But you have to ask yourself, the last 4 years, who was in charge? Who was at the helm these last 4 years? Now, they say Joe Biden, but guess who Joe Biden's sidekick was? The one that's supposed to be taking over if Joe Biden was to falter. Kamala. Now, do you honestly think that that woman is prepared to make any decisions? Is that person, she can't even articulate what her current economic policy is to you, the American people. She refuses to do interviews because she can't talk without stumbling over her words because she doesn't know anything. And yet, there are millions of people still considering voting. What are you voting for? Are you voting for a pillow? Are you voting for a stone statue? What is it you're voting for? I want you to be able to articulate. So I would love to see all of these videos online. Tell me specifically, TikTokers, tell me specifically, young folks on the social media, why specifically? Give me policies, procedures, and things that this woman actually has done successfully that's going to make her the best candidate. If you do that, you will discover yourself that she's complete and utter bullshit. And once you do that, then maybe the rest of America can start having conversations again. But the people who live in this stupid little echo chamber, which the mainstream media tries to push about some dumb candidate who has absolutely no idea what they're talking about, well, if you live in that world, finally when the bubble breaks, finally when this is all over, because if that lady, if that woman is elected president, America as you know it is over. So all you Social Security scared women out there that keep talking about, well, I'm 65 and Donald Trump's going to take away my Social Security. If you're the liberals living in that silly, stupid bubble and continue to keep thinking that, well, when your bubble finally breaks, you're going to realize how stupid you were because now you put in a moron into office. And that moron isn't going to be leading anything. The globalists who have turned our country into the shithole it currently is over the last 3.5 years will continue under that administration, and there is no coming back from it. I am not a doom and gloom guy. I live in the fucking reality, and the reality says that that crazy, lunatic, word salad moron will destroy us. She will destroy, well, not her specifically, but everything that she represents will destroy us if elected in November. And I don't understand how people cannot see that, because you have been hypnotized into believing so much other bullshit. You can't navigate. That's ideological subversion in a nutshell. And if you don't know what ideological subversion is, it's basically when your own government installs propaganda into the masses so that the population has no idea which way to navigate things because they don't know what the truth really is. If you watch my stuff many times on this channel, you will know the only way you understand and truly know anything is by physically getting involved, doing the work, looking behind shit, and researching it yourself. Because if I tell you and you just listen to this dumb talking head, well, guess what? You're not going to know anything more than you already do. You're just going to believe something else somebody else said. We got to get away from belief. Belief in this country is what got us into this place. We all want a pie-in-the-sky answer for everything. Oh, everybody wants a good time is coming to me ever so far away. The problem with this, it requires action. And that imbecile doesn't know what the hell it is she's talking about. So if you are a person still who thinks, I'm going to drive on the Kamala train, well, you're going to drive it right off the fucking cliff into the ocean to your imminent death. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? That doesn't sound like a really good weekend. But Kamala will be cackling all the way down, so you'll at least get that entertainment. All right, my friends, I strongly urge you to just, please, I don't ask people to do anything. On this channel, I don't force anybody to do anything. I'm just asking you to do yourself a favor and inform your person with anything you can to see behind the curve, because what is being presented, it's like, if I'm one of those guys that, like, I'm trying to shake you and say, please, please wake up, please wake up. I'm like, you're on the movie, and I'm trying to shake you to tell you to look around the corner, and you're just like, you're still going. And I'm trying to stop you before it's too late. Please wake up. Come on. We're not this stupid. We're better than this. The fact that we, right now, are considering a mouth-breathing moron in Kamala Harris for president. How did we get so stupid? How did we get so stupid? I still believe it. We're going to come out of this. Come on, young folks. I know you're not stupid. Look, I was 20 years old once, and I remember looking up at these older folks going, these guys are so stupid. Now, I'm the old guy now, and I know what you're thinking. I'm telling you, come along for the ride with me. Keep listening. I will point you in the directions of the people you should be listening to, at least so that you can make your own assessment. Give you some tools so that you can do the work, so that you can empower yourself. That is my goal, is to empower you. But if you just take what is given to you, the way the mainstream and this whole presentation is, you're seeing that house of cards slowly fall apart in front of you right now, why things are starting to crumble in the Kamala Harris campaign. Well, because when you have nothing, and then you try to prop up that nothing, and then put millions of dollars to support that nothing, at the end of the whole thing, you still get a glorious, very expensive nothing burger. And that's Kamala Harris. You're smarter than this. Don't be stupid, don't be bamboozled, don't be pulled into their bullshit. This is your future. And if you go down this road, there's no coming back. You will be the last generation, my friends, to say, you know what, I lived in America when it was still America. Because that woman comes in, there is no America. There is no United States. There is no free nation anymore. You will now become the slave to the society that they set up. So, we have a lot to think about. You have a lot to think about. Please check me out, www.rollmanrevolution.com. There's many videos out there. I just wanted to do this one because I am tired of people just saying shit and getting away with it as if you're that stupid. You're not. I don't treat you that way, and these people shouldn't treat you that way, but yet they just present it on a plate and assume you're going to eat their bullshit sandwich. Don't do it. Stop the bleeding now. Wise up. Trump 2024, it's the only answer. It's the only answer to slow this bleeding down. All right, my friends, I'll see you out there. Talk with you soon. More to come.